So one of the things I used to love to do is watch this TV show called Kids Say the Darndest Things because it would make me laugh. But the truth is, as I get older, I'm finding it's actually adults say the darndest things. In fact, yesterday I was outside in my neighborhood because there was an electrical pole with a transformer on it and flames were coming out. It was making all this buzzing noise. And a lot of us had run outside calling the fire department and electrical company, and we're waiting until they can, deal with this matter because there were trees nearby, the house, one person's house back to it. But about 7 or 8 minutes as we're standing outside, there's literally a woman that comes out and yells at us all, hey, y'all need to call the fire department. And we're all thinking, where have you been, right? Stating the obvious. But it's not just the nonsensical things that adults say. What about those things that can be perceived hurtful or insensitive? And that's why in my life I've learned it's real important in my relationships to have what I call a gate. See, when people speak to me, I make sure that I have a gate that says, okay, do I want to let this in or do I want to keep this out? And there are different kinds of gates. There's the gate where we have a padlock and we don't let anybody in. There's the broken down gate where we let everybody in. And then there's the well-managed gate. And it's whether it's a relationship of someone you've just met for the first time, or for me, I even have a gate with my relationship with my husband because sometimes he or I or both at the same time may be having a pretty rough day. And we want to be sure that we're cultivating an environment of connectedness. And that gate of what I let in and what I keep out is my personal 100% responsibility. An example of how this works is about 1.5 years ago, I ran into a woman I hadn't seen in a really long time. And although we know each other, I wouldn't say we know each other. And somewhere along the line in the conversation, as she's going on talking about something, she turns to me and she says, well, you know how you are. Now, that was an opportunity for me to manage my gate, because if I wasn't careful and I was dealing with an insecurity, I could have taken that very personally. And what I did is I stood at the gate and I looked at her and I said, no, why don't you tell me, help me understand, how am I? And it made her, although uncomfortable, we were able to talk about it, and she actually apologized. Because sometimes people just say things where they are unfiltered. And in a culture where, there's opportunities where people are going to tell you how to think, how to behave, how to dress, even how to eat nowadays, right? That gate is vital to our own personal mental health. Keeping those bad things out and only allowing those things in that we are supposed to take responsibility for. But also managing the gate in such a way that we can build others up with our kind words and hold back those things that say, okay, wait, am I having a bad day before I say this and let this through my gate whereby it might affect somebody else? Why don't I give that a little consideration about how this is going to affect that relationship? A healthy gate, not one with a padlock and not one that's broken down, but that one that knows how to swing back and forth, managed well.